oh, this world we living in is like DC universe. This is Gotham City. The whole planet is. You know, Gotham City all over the place. And the characters, both good and bad, they'll give you all of the intel you need on figuring out your codes and your roles. Take a villain like Harvey Dent, also known as Two-Face, and look at how dangerous this character was. Duality going out of control, and then you just had two bad sides. But where does a two-faced backstabbing nature come from? It came from what his original position was before he became a villain. He was a district attorney. A two-faced nature and a person who talks out of both sides of their mouth is always coming out of a place of judgment. Always coming out of a place of judgment. So that's Harvey Dent, also known as Two-Face. Because if you're playing both sides in the place of judgment, where you're supposed to be impartial, you're supposed to hear both sides, but not play both sides. You got to play the side of what is true, of what is just. But if these things are compromised, you'll end up with two bad halves instead of one controversial whole. Then you move on to a character like Poison Ivy, Green, the Earth. So you have a jaded matrix, or a jaded divine feminine, a jaded vegetation, a jaded sense of receptivity. It's just jaded. So much pressure and so many crises can just cause a spirit to fold and just throw in the towel. And now they don't see life the same at all. Everything's different for them. Even though everything's changing, their outlook and their original energy signature has been altered. And this is got their souls swapped out for whatever's been swapped in its place. Then you got a character like the Penguin, letting you know that in the Aquarian age, there's a villain that masters the waters that's waiting on you. Short in height, but big on tricks. Then you got the Riddler, the other green man with the questions, who introduces you to doubt, disguising it not so much as humor, but humor was the idea of trying to put triviality on things that can be potentially life-threatening if unaddressed. Like how a class clown unchecked, the first time the person hears no when they 28 years old, they might throw a rage that'll lead to a homicide, or at the very least an assault. Decoding all of these different characters from Gotham, and just decoding life in general, will give you all of the same basic codes. But you notice in Gotham City is always raining, right? And the rain represents what? The Matrix code. So basically we're living in, I won't go so much as to call this a simulation altogether. I'll leave that up to other people to say that. But I'll just say that there's a lot of simulations down here that are very predictable and have very tried and true practices associated with them. Then you have Mr. Freeze. That's self-explanatory too. But it was interesting that it had to be Schwarzenegger, the Terminator. So what was that saying? That we'd be frozen in the machine age in the time of Kali, seeing that he was governor of California, but also played Mr. Freeze in one of the Batmans. Did we get frozen in that time period right there? Is this all still, Kali's age? Because we're under the divine feminine. There's a right hand and a left hand meaning to that. So the dark side of that could be Kali, Durga, the destructive goddesses. Transmute those right. You're just tearing down a structure that doesn't work anymore. A belief system that doesn't work anymore. An approach to life that doesn't work anymore. You're just tearing that down, using their destructive energy, and then you rebuild it. All these things are transmutable. Everything is transmutable. Virtually anything is transmutable. This is what gives you direction, though, for your life. So I'll say this: keep transmuting.